Good morning and welcome to Sports at Sunrise, where you get your morning sports opinions. I'm Caleb. As you can see this morning, I am alone. It happens. Geek is out enjoying the night. So you're stuck with just me tonight. But let's talk sports. We'll kick it off in the basketball. I guess I should have said tip it off. The joke was right there, Caleb. Where Thursday, we saw some masterclass performances. We saw Nickeil Alexander-Walker drop 38 in a losing effort to the Spurs, where we see an insane run get continued by Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who in his last few games have put up 38 4-5, 24 3-3, and 26 3-4. Ridiculous, sir. Ridiculous. Can't believe a team let him walk. Averaging 19 on the year. Which, if you're not familiar with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, is a career high by about 7 a game versus when he was in New Orleans, and is 10 points higher than anything he put up in Minnesota as a role player. Respect to you, sir. Respect to you. We also saw some wild performance. Tyrese Maxey, 54, 9 assists in a winning overtime effort over the Bucks with Ryan Rollins, I think is his name. Is his first name Ryan? Yeah, it's Ryan. Had 34, 6, and 14. Ryan Hollins, the point guard, has recently gotten more opportunities, and he's taking every advantage. He's 18 and 6 on the helping a Bucks team with Giannis. The saddest one, though, well, two. Kings get embarrassed again, and Clippers get embarrassed again. 3 and 13, 4 and 11. The vets are struggling. And there was a question the other night of what kind of vets am I getting in a team? Clippers vets? Because this vet team has not looked good. This Kings team has also not looked good. Now, Friday night in-season tournament. Major stipulations. The Nets beat the Celtics by 8. Huge for the NBA Cup. The Raptors beat the Wizards by 30, which is huge for the Cup because point differential matters. So do the Heat beat the Bulls by 26 points, is I think what that is? No, 36. 143 to 107. Khalil Ware putting up 40. Mavs beat the Pelicans. Cavs beat the Pacers. Pacers are a lot better than they look at 2 and 14. Played some tough games. That Texas Thunder destroyer team. Blazers beat Golden State off of another amazing Denny performance, which is normal at this point for the Blazers. So, hats off Denny Advia. 26, 6, and 14. But the big one was the Nuggets beat the Rockets. Because let's be real here, no one cares about the NBA Cup. I'm a Nuggets fan. I get to talk about how good Jokic is. I saw a tweet that best describes Nikola Jokic is these big games. This is a big game because Sengun has been one of the best centers in the league this year. And he was playing Sengun, who's considered a baby Jokic at this point. Because, yeah, let's keep comparing guys to the best center in the modern era. Let's do them that favor. And Jokic decided to say, here's a 34, 10, and 9 night. With one of the most ridiculous passes, which, as always, Jokic plays a important game and he hits some insane pass that everyone's like, how did he do this? And it's like, dude, he's Jokic. You just got to accept that he does this shit. Peyton Swatson, big night again. Starting, especially because Aaron Gordon got hurt tonight, which is huge implications for the Nuggets. They're down Braun already. Now they're going to be down Gordon sometime. They could be looking at an 8-man rotation for a portion of the year. Or Zeke Naji could get play time. They could call Duran Holmes up, who's currently getting G League minutes. But it was Reed Shippard for the Rockets who really tried to keep him in this game. With 27. Amen also had 22 and 7. But Sengun was the guy who didn't fully rise to the occasion. 14, 5, 6, 4 turnovers. He was a minus 16 winning the game. Steven Adams was the best answer at center. But KD struggled. It was a weird night for the Rockets because it was a close game, but the guys who typically start, KD and Sengun, were just non-factors truly. But when you're playing Jokic, you need your guys to be stars, and they just weren't. Now let's talk about football. American football. I'm starting to have questions about this Houston Texans team. I don't know. I can say this because Geek is not here, which is awesome. Because I can slander him without Geek being like, you're dumb, you're stupid, blah, 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 blah. This Houston team, I'm very interested to see what happens when CJ returns next week. Because Davis Mills was like, I saw a tweet, was as a pace starter, was on pace for like 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, 6 INTs. Granted, he looked like Nathan Peterman against the Broncos. But to the credit of Davis Mills, everyone looks like Nathan Peterman against this Broncos defense we've seen this year. The biggest takeaway, though, was this Houston Texans defense is different. Not in a good, different kind of way. Josh Allen got sacked 8 times tonight. That night. 2.5 coming from Will Anderson. Did he not even get one? Oh, no. Danielle Hunter did get 2. Sorry. That's what I was looking for. Hunter had 2 sacks. Will Anderson had 2.5. 8 sacks. It's hard to sack Josh Allen 8 times because it's just how elusive and powerful Josh Allen is in that is in that backfield, where you snap that ball and he's a hard man to tackle. James Cook tried to help them win. He had a $116 on the ground, 6.8 yards a carry, and a touchdown. With adding another 13 through the air, just an outstanding performance from the running back. But it doesn't do you much when Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, throws 2 picks with 253 in the air. Granted, this defense is one of the 4 best defenses in the league. But it makes it really hard. You score 19 points in a night. One of those touchdowns is from Ray Davis. Okay? Take away the kickers and you 12 points all night. You scored 1 touchdown offensively from James Cook. You score 1 time through the course of 4 quarters with Josh Allen at your quarterback. That's not a shot at the Bills, because the Bills have been a good offensive team this year. I mean, the Falcons shut them down, and the Dolphins, but it's just they have these one-off games. I don't know if this is a one-off game because this Texans defense, I mean, 19, 13, the Jacks put up 29, 15, 19, 10, 0, 10, 19, 9. Like, you can't blame the Bills for what this defense did to them. When this defense is, I'm going to say it as a Broncos fan, the best defense in the league. Because they can get to the quarterback. They force turnovers. They make the AFC interesting. Because with that win, they move up to 6-5. Which, you feel very good about the top 3 teams of Denver, New England, Indianapolis at this point, making the playoffs at 9-2, 9-2, and 8-2 respectively. 4 through 7 is interesting. Pittsburgh is 6-4 right now, but Baltimore's 5-5, right on their tail. The 6 through 7, Buffalo 6, 7, 8, 9, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Houston, Kansas City now. I mean, look, Miami's getting hot. They could end up going 10-7 out of nowhere. You have these teams getting the hot streaks, getting like Miami's won 3 in a row now. Back 2 games, back to back. But those are 2 decent wins against the Commanders and Bills. They also dominated the Falcons. With Saints Jets as the next two games they could easily win, and we're looking at a 6-7 Dolphins team now to close with Steelers, Bengals, Bucks, Patriots. This is a team that is getting hot and can get dangerous. Hot and dangerous. Because they're using A-Chan. Tua's looking better. Kansas City's 5-5 after it lost to Denver. They play the Colts Sunday. That's not an easy win. They play the Cowboys, who looked really good the other night with Logan Wilson and Quinn Williams. You face the Texans, a great defense, the Chargers, and you have the Broncos still. This is a team that could easily lose 2 or 3 more games, and the question is, does Mahomes and the Chiefs miss the playoffs? That's a viable question at this point, which is horrifying. Because the Chiefs are not in the playoffs. The AFC is wide open because at this point it doesn't feel like the Bengals are either. The last 2 teams to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl won't be in the playoffs, which leaves a wide open door for who it is. Because every team has their flaw. The Chiefs currently have a flaw. It's they don't win those games they won last year. Jacksonville, they're 6-4. With what feels like the easiest path because they still play the Titans twice. And they have the Cardinals and Jets on the schedule. They feel like they have a easy path. But I don't trust this team either. I mean, Houston, of the teams fighting for the 7th seed, because I will say Buffalo still probably feels really safe in that 6th spot. Steelers, Bengals, they have the Browns, Jets still. Browns, Jets is 2 easy wins. Bengals with Burrows, never going to be easy. But you have 2 games you feel very confident in left. You get to 10 wins, it feels like you have a very good shot this year. That 9-8 could be that 7th seed. But, I mean, even the Chargers at 7-4, who do the Chargers have left? I didn't even realize Chargers were the same record. Chargers at 7-4, Raiders, they'll win. Go on a stretch of Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos to close. They could drop a few of those easily. This entire conference is still relatively wide open. From the 4th to the 7th seed, the 4th through the 11th seed have a chance. Who do the Bengals play this week? And it could be blown open even more if the Bengals somehow win this week and beat the Patriots. If the Bengals find a way to beat the Patriots this week, we're having a completely different conversation about the playoff race. Because that means Flacco did what he needs to do and beats the Patriots after a few tough losses in a row because of the defense. And we're talking about a wide open AFC again. NFC, more cut and not as cut and dry, actually. You know Philly, LA is going to be in. You feel semi-confident about Chicago. But Chicago's also entering the stretch where they play some real football teams now. So Sunday's interesting there. You get to see Tampa Bay, who feels not as safe anymore because the Panthers are on that ass. But you feel confident about Green Bay as a 6th seed. You feel confident about San Fran and Detroit. The movement is, I think, the AFC South winner. And who ends up winning the NFC West. Between Seattle and LA, because Seattle could easily win it because of just who they... Actually, no, the Rams have a nice third. Who do the Seattle Seahawks have to close? Both have it relatively sweet to close. I think Eagles end up with the bye again. With all the controversy going on there between AJ and Jalen Hurts and Saquon. AJ Brown threw Saquon under the dirt of, well, Saquon's not the same as last year. Not a good teammate. Bad on him. But it feels like this playoff race has been cracked fully open out of nowhere with the Browns loss and Texans win. Bills lost, Texans win, because Texans feel more certain now, and Bills are starting to shake a little more. But it's only week 12. We have 6 more weeks of football, where anything could happen, and Sunday's going to be massive for who's we see where. But that does it here at Sports at Sunrise. I hope you have an outstanding day, and bye.